Okay, here we go, Raymond.
All right.
I'm going to just drop a message in chat. Let me know if you can see it. That come true?
Besides your upcoming opponent and ignoring timelines, who is your dream matchup in Karate Combat Pit?
Oh, there should be another one. That's actually a different stream now. Let's go boom, boom. Because the URL changed.
Frankie Batale, wow.
Wow.
It's going out.
Yeah. It's just it's the. Did
I see this question over here on TikTok. Mike Page. Mike Page is pretty good at point fighting. I thought Mike was always a tough competitor for me when I went overseas and competed against him and stuff. I didn't really compete against him that much here in the States, but he was pretty good at point sparring. I think I got the wins over him a few more times than he's ever. I think he's only ever beaten me once in sport karate, but he was definitely one of the best in the game. A lot of people think that karate doesn't work against other people except for karate people, but if you step in here against one of these guys in karate combat, whether you know or don't know karate, I guarantee you, they'll karate-size you. My dream matchup, I don't know. Well, they just unlocked the door, so now my man Pettis, who I'm a huge fan of, I would love to actually fight against Pettis. Stephen Thompson, who's fighting this weekend, I would love to fight against him. Anderson Silva, Anderson Silva's the GOAT of mixed martial arts, so I would love to fight against him as well. So he's amazing. I've seen him once. I don't think I've ever actually met him though, but I would love to have an opportunity to compete against somebody of legendary status. I've had the great fortune of sparring with GSP multiple camps, so that's been awesome. Do I train with Sage? Yeah, Sage is in California, but sometimes I don't get to see Sage all the time because he's in Cali. But when he comes to Texas, we're always training and working. But Sage is hard to keep up with. His cardio is ridiculous. The only other person's cardio who is close to Sage is Juan Archuleta. They're the only two people that I've seen that have just like can outwork anybody that I've ever seen. Wonderboy or Pettis, I'd prefer to fight Pettis just because he's in my genre and my range right now. But Wonderboy, we had the opportunity to fight, but he blew his knee out in the first like 30 seconds of the fight, so that was unfortunate. But I've prepared to fight him before. I've never prepared to fight Pettis, and I think Pettis is a great athlete, and I would love to test my mettle against his. What's up, Devin? How you doing, my man? What's up, little nephew? All right, here we go. We're getting up on you. All right, cool.
Yeah, got you.
So straight here.
Yeah, you can bounce off both.
Bounce off. All right, cool.
So this on the right is TikTok, and in the middle of your YouTube.
All right, cool. Let's do that. Thank you guys about the MVP, me fighting MVP. Mike is my man. Even though like we're great competitors with each other, we're actually really good friends too. But we definitely love to compete against each other. Oh, let's see. Okay, there you go. Fighting, say, somebody like Chris Gonzalez, Juan Archuleta, some of them up from either Alpha Male or from Training Lab and stuff like that to make sure I work my wrestling skills. But I did have some fun going down over to, well, they were Sanford now, but now they're Killcliff. And working with some of those guys like Gilbert Burns and stuff like that. They have some amazing wrestlers out that way. but the Irish Open one of the years, and we're in there fighting and stuff like that. And I think Mike thought he could beat me in dancing and fighting. I think he took 2 L's that night. But Mike is my man. I always love competing against him because he's a competitor. It didn't matter if we were on the dance floor or we were in the ring. He was there to win, and I always appreciate that about him. So as far as karate, I have black belts in Showtime, American Taekwondo, Kempo, and actually even Muay Thai as well under Tyler Wambos, my classic fight team coach.
Tell me a story about when you and GSP were together. GSP really affected your game. I don't know if everybody knows that. Like, how do you mess with GSP?
Man, GSP actually, Faraz hit me up and was like, hey, I got this guy, GSP. I was like GSP? And then he hit me up and we ended up linking up, but he ended up coming out to my school, and I had the great pleasure of him being my sparring partner for like 2 of my my kickboxing camps. He was super influential as far as helping me with different just exercises. He's what I like to call like a true martial artist, you know what I mean? He helped me with, as far as like my ring management and stuff like that, helped me with some different core strengthening exercise. Just being a leader. He's a great leader for the people that are around him and stuff like that. So he's an amazing martial artist, somebody who I aspire to have a career like. So it was great to have the opportunity to work with somebody who I was a super fan of, and I didn't even know he knew I existed. And he was like, "Oh no, man, I'm a huge fan of you." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I didn't even know you. I was on the same, planet as you, brother." And so it was honestly an awesome experience to have somebody like him as literally my sparring partner for 2 of my training camps. He's a personal hand in my career and helping me benefit and grow.
That's combat sports history, bro. Thanks.
Vegas stays in Vegas now. Now I've had some good experiences in Vegas. I've been coming out here since I was a kid. This is kind of a home away from home. So she hasn't seen me fight in I don't know how many years, and she's always nervous about me fighting. She's like, "Oh, this is my baby." I'm like, "Mom, I'm a grown man now." But she's gonna be here. I mean, I got cousins, nephews, brothers, everybody that'll be in the crowd yelling for me this weekend. So I'm super. Had numerous fights out here. So I've had ups and downs out here with huge victories. I've had some couple setbacks where I had received my first cut of my career. I remember against I think it was against Nikki actually, and I was winning all 3 rounds and got my eye split, and otherwise I would have literally had the Glory Well title in my hands. So I'm excited about being able to come out here and put on a show for my family, for my fans. All my friends from California are coming down because everybody loves an excuse to come to Vegas, and what better excuse to come and check me out in Karate Combat Pit, you know what I mean? So my good friend Robbie, who unfortunately isn't able to fight this weekend, is getting married on Saturday. So I'm gonna go out there, handle my business, and go celebrate my man getting married and stuff like that as well.
Big blackjack guy at all? Roulette? What's the
I prefer a little bit of blackjack. That's my game of choice. My wife, she likes a little bit of roulette. So like there's a couple casinos that have them right next to each other, right in the same area, so I can do both at the same time. I try and multitask best I can. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be an amazing week. Asking questions about as far as going this fight. I'm looking to try and finish my opponent as quickly as possible. I don't think he's fought anybody with the type of speed and power that I bring. So we'll go out here and get the job done. I have something special in mind that I've been working on. So we'll see if the cards unfold properly in order for me to play that hand. So.
How about Elijah Advil again, getting a chance to share the card with him? His
Yeah.
trajectory, 47-second KO on the debut.
Yeah,
Really special.
I know. It's my man Elijah is awesome. He has yet to even even touch just how great he can actually become. You know, it's always like, it's a beautiful thing when he comes out and you have a 47-second knockout, because then it's like, oh yeah, you came in, you got the job done really fast, but then at the same time, you also want to build that more experience and stuff like that. So I'm glad that he's on the card with me again. It feels like, you know, he's at home, and he'll be able to go out and do the same thing and have another dominant performance. It was a huge sport karate kind of event. Myself, Elijah, Ross is on this card. My man Ross is taking on Sam Alvey, which is going to be a great matchup. I actually like both of the guys, so I'm kind of going to just sit back and kind of watch them go at it, and may the best man win. But it's awesome to see guys that come from the same background that I come from making it to this next level.
Speaking of Ross, last time Ross fought here was in Vegas against you. How'd that go?
Did he fight against me in Vegas?
I think you guys are 6.
Probably Ross did. Probably, I wouldn't imagine that Ross won that fight. Ross and I have fought a number of times in sport karate, and he's beaten me a few times, and it's always been great competition to me. But I believe I've beaten him more times than he's ever beaten me, and that's just with most people in sport karate. From MVP, I've beaten him more times than he's ever beaten me. I don't think anybody in my genre of sport karate has a winning record against me. I've pretty much dominated that for throughout generations of fighters. Like MVP and Ross are a generation that I've competed in as well. So, but I think he's going to do really well this weekend. But like I said, Sam Alvey's a tall task, so it'll be a very interesting. Ross looks really thick at 205. I haven't seen him at this weight. I'm like, oh, you look like a big boy. I was like, yeah. It'd be a great match. I think this, over there it is, went down. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. You should put all your, it's going to be a sure thing, so don't worry about it. I got your back, my man. It's money. You can consider that money in the bank. So, and then you have a couple of other fights afterwards that you can do when Ross and Alvey go, and then the Pettis Henderson fight. So you can triple up on everything if you want.
How about, talk to me about moving. Of course, we chatted about it earlier with California to Texas. Any challenges or unexpected, pleasant surprises about being in Texas?
Yeah, I mean, for moving from California to Texas has been a big adjustment, to be honest, just for the simple fact of just training and training partners. Like, I had a plethora of training partners that I had to train with and stuff like that in California. Moving out to Texas, I'm having to reinvent all my coach, Sam Calavita. So I've had to make some adjustments with that, either doing remote training, training with my father-in-law. As you guys see the muscle on my man Sage, that was built through their dad, Mark, and he has a awesome, amazing training protocol. That's why I feel a lot bigger, a lot stronger for this fight. But it's been some adjustments. I've literally turned my entire garage into my training, everything that I need, to bikes, to treadmills, all in my garage, just so my daughter can have access to me 24/7. She's 18 months now, so little Rhea, hey baby, I love you. She's my heart outside my chest. So she's like my world. So I like to be around Georgetown, Texas. Shameless. If you're close, come see us, check us out. If you're not close, you can still come check us out. Just opening up my new school out there has been amazing. I'm very blessed. We're already doing very well. Only I think a year in already, so it's definitely been some adjustments and stuff like that. But I'm definitely around. We only had summer and spring, so now we get some different weather and bugs too. The bugs in Texas are like, if you've been to Texas, they bugs, like in California, bugs be this big. In Texas, bugs like that big, and they come after you.
Talking about your family some more, we've got, obviously your wife Colby here is in the chat checking in. Take me back to your first date with her, if you remember that. Asking her out for the first time. I want to hear that story.
Actually, our first date was here in Vegas. Our first date was actually here in Vegas. Actually, her brother was fighting at a UFC event, and we were out on a date, and I think they were having trouble or needed something for part of his weight cut. And so we ended up actually canceling our first date so we can go and help Sage make his weight for his UFC fight. We needed together for his hydration, for his weight cut and stuff like that. And so that was literally our first date. But that's one of the things that I love about her. She's very family orientated, you know what I mean? And she's got her family's back. So, and now obviously I'm her family, so she's got my back. Did you say she checked in on here?
Yeah.
Hey, baby. I didn't see. I'm glad you pointed that out, because if I wouldn't, our mind are keeping up with the questions. But anyway, yeah. So that was our first date out here. Kind of got interrupted, but you know, we figured it all out. Did some long distance. We're one of those long distance relationship success. A lot of people say that doesn't end up panning or working out all the time. But if you're committed to it and you guys committed to each other, it does. So. But yeah, now she's back home running my karate school right now with one of my instructors, Tice Talbot. He's out there crushing it. You know, so my school's still growing and doing really well, even though I'm not there. So I'm very fortunate and blessed in that regard.
You know, Sage has obviously got a big fight coming back up here. What do you think of that matchup for him and his mentality heading into his next fight?
I think Sage has a huge fight coming up with Shinya Aoki. I believe it's like Sages are very. I don't think people have as much success as he's had. I don't think people have really seen what he's capable of doing. You know what I mean? As far as his especially his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu is ridiculous. Like you saw his last fight, how he got the heel hook, and the guy was a very well-rounded grappler. But Sage he's strong, he's fast, he's very knowledgeable, he's a student of the game. He really enjoys the competition. He enjoys life as well. He's one of the only people I know that actually calls and just like, hey man, how you doing? How's your day? You know what I mean? Just calls to check in on you. I was like, I remember talking to Colby about it, and I was like, I don't think I've ever met another human that actually just calls somebody just to say hi. Doesn't have any type of ulterior motive, doesn't need anything. Just how's your day, tell you about an experience he had, see your experience, and then I'm out. You know what I mean? And daily, consistently. But he has a great fight coming up. I think he'll do very well against Shinya. You know, he's training. He's got a lot of solid partners down at Alpha Male that can help him out and stuff like that. Uriah, he has an amazing system down there. I've gone down there to train with him a few times and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed what he puts together with his guys. But I think Sage will actually get like a first or second round finish probably against Shinya. I think Shinya's a really tough guy. He's a dog. He's a veteran. But I think it's a new era of fighters.
We'll take one more for you, Raymond, if you want to take one from the chat.
All right. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, Rafael is actually a great champion. He is a 5-time champion, 11-time European. Yeah, I think he's an amazing fighter, and I would love the opportunity to fight Rafael again. When I fought him, don't make any excuses, he beat me that night. I thought that I would be able to go in and dominate him even with an injury, or not necessarily injury. I was cleared by the doctor, so I know what I was stepping into. But there was a little hesitation of me exploding, taking off, and things of that nature. So I would love to fight him and then I think martial arts and point fighting. Oh, I'm your favorite point fighter. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Going back to Agayev, how was it when you had your first stare down with him?
But he was a lot shorter than I imagined, and when I was striking, even when I was training. So to make that adjustment mid-fight was really all of my sparring and training that I would normally do. As far as with contact, I wasn't able to do it because I had to let my neck heal. So the first time I actually sparred was when I went in there to fight him, and then I was having to adjust from hitting a bag up here to striking at a lower level, and I didn't really make the adjustment until like the 4th and 5th round, and then that was what made it a little more difficult. But he has really good timing, really good movement. He's very sturdy. If that's a word, like a word to describe a person, and easier to defend. But in karate combat, you have pants. So a lot of the guys are grabbing the pants, and he was really good at grabbing the pants, and I wasn't expecting. So he looked at it. That's, if you look at most of the exchanges where he was dominating was because he was able to disturb my balance with the grab. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys, my daughter broke my wave. So she waves like this, and so like I wave like that now. Like I'm always like, hey, I'll see you guys, and people look at me and they're like, you're a grown man, why are you waving like that? I was like, well, my 18-month that my daughter did that, you know. So.
And final question from the wifey as well is anything new and flashy we expect to see on Friday night?
Oh yeah, I've got a few things built in that I'm ready to do and ready to unlock and unleash. Like I'm like that character from a video game. As soon as I get to that level, I've gotten a lot more confident. Pettis here, trying to take some of the highlights for me. So I got a few tricks up my sleeve. So I'm gonna wait to unleash. Thank you guys for helping me get to this point. I'm very fortunate and blessed to have all of you guys in my life. I'm looking forward to going out and putting it all on the line. You know me, I love to go out, and if you've never seen me fight, there's other fights that are going on this weekend, and I dare you to compare the difference of the welterweight fights that are going on and compare them against you've ever seen.
Thank you for your time, Ray.
Thank you.
Just know, get rid of the lab.
All right, any questions for Anthony Pettis? Let's go.
Reload the page. It's like, oh, there we go. What we got over here? It's here? Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah, I'm not seeing nothing yet.
So many different organizations. How does it feel to now be here in KC?
It feels like I'm going back to my roots, man, honestly. Like I started with traditional martial arts, competing in tournaments my whole life, and then I found mixed martial arts, and I had my success over there. Just had my first boxing professional debut, and now I make my debut over here.
Yeah, debuts just don't stop, brother. Now, Raymond Daniels just wrapped up his AMA session. Both of you guys had said that that would be a fight that you're interested in.
In the MMA cage, but I think this rule set would even be more entertaining because, you don't have to worry about the takedowns and the wrestling and the ground game. It would be two entertaining martial artists. Probably the most entertaining, I would say, besides Michael Venom Page, another good guy with, some good knockouts. But I would say us three would probably have the most entertaining, knockouts and striking style in the sport.
It's definitely, the human highlight reels, just living up to the name.
I got a question from Instagram for you.
Yep.
How do you think fighting in the pit will differ from fighting in the cage or the ring?
I mean, that slant is offensively, I'm excited about it, but defensively, that's what's going to be a new thing for me. If you back up too far, you fall back on that cage, your opponent can strike you from that position, and it's a position I've never been in. So yeah, I'd say that's the only difference.
Yeah, and usually at the end of a round, you gassed a little bit, and normally you can just walk into your corner. This way, you have to get out the pit, and you also have to get out on your own by yourself.
Well, hopefully I don't get touched and I can walk right out of that thing. But I'm ready for whatever happens. Honestly, I think what my fighting style is very entertaining.
Sky version El Daddy.
Knockout. He just fought Mike Tyson, so we had a game plan of outpointing him, finding the angles, and I did that, bro. And I survived his power. But we were trying to box. He's like, we have an opponent for you. I'm like, who's the name? He's like, Roy Jones Jr. I'm like, the Roy Jones Jr. Like, what? Yeah, so that was a surreal moment. Obviously, he hit me with a left hook. It's baited me in. I was doing I kept my high guard. I was doing that. Was it when you fought Diaz? Oh man, Diaz, bro. Diaz, he was very unexpected. Like his output. I think in the beginning of the fight, I remember I hit him with like a left high kick, just missed his face, like just smacked his face with it. And I hit him with a right hand, and I saw his eyes go back a little bit. I'm like, oh, I got this one. Second round comes in and just put me in deep water, man. Honestly, it was just a lot of punches and bunches. I don't think I was ever hurt, but he just, you know, he used his game plan very well. So yeah, Nate's a smart fighter.
We got a question here on the YouTube.
This one right here. Do I want to fight Mike Perry? Yeah, I mean, I did a bunch of interviews on Mike Perry. You know, bare knuckles is a totally different sport, man. That's something that I would have to, like, you know, talk to my wife about, honestly, like, make sure she's cool with it before I sign myself up for something like that. But, I mean, I'm not afraid to fight anybody. Honestly, I see Mike Perry's game, and I see how he boxes. He's just a brawler, man. Like, you know, if Eddie Alvarez kind of stayed in front of him and tried to exchange with him, I wouldn't fight him that way. You know, I'd take the angles, I'd pick him apart from the outside. I think I definitely would win that fight, honestly.
Someone was asking, are you nervous for this fight? And I think the greater question is, at this point in your career, are there nerves? Is it excitement? What's the feeling?
It's a little bit of both. You know, I get nervous because the world's watching. I'm excited because it's a new rule set and I get to showcase some new skills. But honestly, for this one, I feel very comfortable. Just, you know, this is what I've done this since I was 5 years old. You know, you take away the takedowns and you take away the wrestling and the cage stalling. That's what I do in MMA. You know, I wait for these guys to put me in the cage, wait for them to try to take me down, wait till they get tired, and then once we get to the center of the cage, it's showtime. So this here is like made for me. And you know, fighting Ben, you know, obviously all respect for Ben. I'm, you know, a tremendous martial artist, but I don't see where he trebles me in this fight. I don't see where he's gonna, you know. My striking is just on a different level than his, and I've been striking even after, you know, my last MMA fight. I've been focused on straight striking. He kind of switched over to grappling, so I'm very confident for this fight. I'm sure I'll get nervous when I walk out there, but you know, I'm gonna go out there and have some fun.
When was the last time you fought like a karate gi?
Last time I competed in a karate gi, I was 22 years old. 22 years old. I did it for my students. I still teach traditional martial arts. So yeah, that was the last time I competed in a karate gi. Crazy thing is, you got to pay for those tournaments. I'm getting paid for this one, so big difference. Yo, what up, Nate Diaz? Yeah, Nate's the man. Would you go back to the UFC? Yeah. I mean, I get to ask that question a lot. The thing about the UFC is the audience, man, the fans. Like the feeling you get when you walk out into a UFC octagon, the fans make it such a big difference. I mean, if I would do it, it would have to be in a big arena. I wouldn't do no Apex fights. I would have to do a big arena fight. It'd have to be the right guy. But I mean, I wouldn't say no to anything. I mean, I'm 36 years old. I've fought everywhere. I've fought everybody. I'm not afraid to fight, you know, anybody. So I wouldn't say no to that either.
From Ralph on YouTube, are you looking for a KO in this upcoming fight, or are you going to take the smarter route due to Henderson being a very durable fighter?
Well, Henderson's a durable fighter when you add jiu-jitsu and grappling to that. But, like, you know, when he doesn't have the ability to take me down and hold me down and put me against the cage, we'll see how durable he really is, you know, because I feel like with the striking rule set, he doesn't have the ability to shoot a takedown or push me in the cage and hold me in the cage. Like this, he has to face the fire. I'm gonna be smart. You know, I'm not a dumb fighter. I'm gonna be intelligent. I know what I'm getting. You know, 15 minutes or 18 minutes, depending on how this fight goes. So I'll be smart out there. I'll fill him out. I'll see what he has to bring. We have so much history together. I know his style. You know, he has a big left kick. You know, he has his 2-1s. He ambushes in with his strikes. You know, uppercut, straight hand. He has that like little weird parry jab when he comes out. So I'm pretty prepared for the striking side of this, and I don't think he's seen what I'm about to do to him. You know, I'll even say it. I'm gonna fight him southpaw. You know, when I fought traditional martial arts, I used right leg forward just because that's my power side. When I switched over to mixed martial arts, I had to switch back to orthodox just because of the takedowns, the low kicks, and the wrestling. So you know, you'll see me switching both sides. You'll see me fighting, you know, orthodox southpaw. I'll find an angle and I'll catch him.
And from Martin, are you planning to replicate the famous Anthony Pettis Showtime kick in karate combat?
You know I got to throw it once. Yeah, I got to throw it once. You know, I feel like everybody wants to see it. And the slant of this is way easier than jumping off the side of a cage. So I feel like, you know, it's kind of made for that kick, man. So maybe I'll take a couple steps before I throw it this time to make it a little bit extra.
You won't nutshot the camera guy either this time.
That's funny that was a real thing. I remember I was at the UFC event and he's like, yeah, you know, you kicked me in the nuts when you did that kick. I'm like, no way. And then I watched it. So that's fucking hilarious.
When you fought him for those first 2 times, did he have the toothpick in on either of those, or?
I have no idea. If he did, he hit it very well, man. Because I mean, we were face to face a couple times in guard. I mean, I had him in a deep guillotine. I mean, I feel like you know, if he's fighting with that toothpick, he's a G. I mean, that's scary. Looking back at your boxing debut, how surreal? Oh, I've seen that one. See what else we got over here. Where do you rank you and your brother among the brothers in combat sports? I mean, I think we're the only two champion brothers in combat sports. You know, Serge got the Bellator title. I got WEC and UFC title. Serge is still going. I'm still going. Hopefully I get this karate combat title. So, I mean, I don't think it's done yet. So I feel like once we're done, then we can compare where me and Serge left off at. But we got to be up there for sure. Who's Dan Serb? Maybe it's a misspelling.
What are some of your other favorite like brother duos in combat sports? Obviously, Pitbull brothers you got.
I mean, the Pitbull brothers obviously respect them. My brother fought him. Diaz brothers, bro. You gotta put them in there. You know, like me and Nate had our problems, but he actually just came out to my last APFC event, special guest. You know, cool ass dude. Yeah. I just set that up actually. He'll be out for this one. But you know, Nick and Nate, bro. Like those are the two guys that like. I mean, Nick too, man. What happened with him with the suspension is. It's crazy, honestly. It kind of pisses me off when I think about it. Like, bro, he lost a lot of his career on some bullshit, and he could have been way further along, you know. So I feel like the Diaz brothers got to be up there. Nogueira brothers, you know, both of them guys are awesome fighters. Klitschko brothers, of course, boxing. You got to put them up there. Even the Miller brothers too. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good brothers.
What do you think about Ngannou and Fury when you watch that?
Bro, Ngannou. So me and Ngannou trained together at our strength and conditioning gym out here in Vegas. I seen him rehabbing his knee that whole time. You know, it wasn't I right until he started that camp. I think that knee was still like a little suspect, and the way he went out there and man switched stances, stood in front of the baddest man on the planet. You know, it was amazing, bro. So I feel like he made MMA boxing skyrocket. You know, the opportunities that are coming for us MMA fighters in the boxing world, if you could box, are definitely going to be there because of what he did.
What do you think about fighting in like the Middle East? Have you fought and competed over there beforehand, or is that someplace you want to go?
Never been. I actually never been in the Middle East. I had an opportunity to go for one UFC card, and then I forgot what happened. My wife got sick or something, and we ended up not going. But yeah, I'm definitely open to that, bro. I fought in Japan. I fought pretty much everywhere in the U.S. But yeah, that'd be amazing to go fight somewhere over there and go see. I mean, I see it all on Instagram. It looks amazing. So yeah, I've been all around the world, but not there yet.
So we get through this Benson fight, and then we look down the roster of Karate Combat. Is there anybody that's like interesting for our next matchup?
This guy said fix the Wi-Fi is bad. Wi-Fi is shit. Say it again.
Just so you run through Benson, you know.
Yeah.
We're going next now. So what's like next? If you look down to the roster of Karate Combat, is there anybody that's interesting to you?
I mean, Raymond Daniels is definitely. I just seen him. That's a respectable guy. Like got no animosity.
You're good.
What's up?
No, nothing. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. Raymond Daniels would be a fun fight. Rafael the Champ obviously would be another fun fight. I mean, as Asim brings in more guys, I feel like this place is gonna blow up, man. Like there's a lot of competition out there, a lot of fun fights that I haven't had an opportunity to have, but hopefully with this platform we can make them happen.
At Karate Combat, we take kind of real fights to unreal worlds. At this time, we're doing it on a moon base. Have you? What's your thoughts on that?
So dope. I think the production is so huge, and I run my own fight show too. And you gotta separate yourselves from the rest of the fight world. So like when you see the backgrounds and you see the production level, I mean that matters. You know, like everything right now is like. I think combat sports is probably one of the most entertaining sports out there right now, and it's growing the most. I mean, you see the UFC success, you see PFL buying Bellator. There's room for a lot more productions to come in and make a statement, and I think that's what these guys are doing.
And then with your own promotion, what's the toughest challenge you've ever faced running your own promotion?
Man, the toughest. I had a venue in Indiana, and it was summertime. And I had no idea that the air conditioner didn't work. So we get into this venue, it's fucking the hottest day of the year too. We get in that thing, man, everybody's sweating, and I'm just sitting there like, there's nothing I could do, man. I went and bought like 10 fans, didn't help. So yeah, that was probably my toughest situation so far was that venue in Indiana when the AC didn't work, and we were just dying. And I had a suit on, I was sweating through my armpits. I mean, I should have checked into that before I even got the venue, but it was like, I didn't even think of that. Like, what venue doesn't have AC?
Who's your favorite play-by-play commentator on the regional scene?
I gotta say, Bilal Muhammad. Everybody look back at boxing.
If there's no more, we can finish up here, I think. Wait, see if we have one more coming through.
But yo, but Sergio fighting?
Hair transplant, nah, bro. That's all me. Actually, I got the tattoo done, so you can kind of see it. I shouldn't have got it done though. Like I got it too dark. But yeah, I'm 36. I still got it strong.
They tatted up the line. Or?
Yeah, it's like a tattoo just on the line. So like I had the corner started going back, so I'm like, man, I gotta get it a little darker.
Bro, I need to do that.
Yeah, I would advise against it. Now they got the hair transplant. That shit's like way better. Yeah, like if you do a tattoo, like it started spreading, so you could see it. Like if you go really close, like this too thick. But the cool thing is I can never fuck up my lining. So I cut my own hair, and it's always the
Are you
same.
gonna have to like keep getting it tatted?
Nah, I'm gonna do the hair transplant.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like that.
Question.
It looks good though. Haha.
Question from the YouTube. When's the next Pettis event and where?
So I got a boxing fight set in February. We're going March in Puerto Rico. We got April in, I want to say Virginia's going to be April, or Indiana, back to Indiana. Not that venue, but in Indiana. And then we got May, Cinco de Mayo in Milwaukee. And then we got one every month. I think I'm doing 12 to 15 next year, depending on how this meeting goes next week. So looking forward to that.
Could you ever see a crossover with karate combat?
That'd be so dope. I mean, so I teach traditional martial arts still. I got so many good students. I got a couple of instructors that I got to get over here and compete on this level. But that'd be so dope. I mean, my idea with it when I started APFC was having a tournament during the day and then the fight show at nighttime. So doing not like a point style tournament, a full contact style tournament, like tournament style, not show style, and then having my APFC at nighttime. But I just never came to fruition. I just got so much shit going on.
Well, PFC's still young too.
I mean, it's only 9th show.
Exactly.
9 shows in.
From Martin on YouTube, what's your favorite fighter of all time?
Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva got to be, it's one of my goats. I mean, John Jones too. John Jones is just my age, so it's hard to put that. But I train with John, and the skill level that dude possesses is just God-given. It's not something that's like, I mean, he definitely works hard, but his skill set is God-given, man. Like that dude, he's a man. He's a monster.
Let's say you couldn't do combat sports. Would there be another sport that you'd want to transition to, like baseball or soccer or something like that?
Nah, combat sports. I mean, I started martial arts when I was 5 years old, so like it's like part of my life. Even my daughter's like my 2-year-old probably been to more fights than most adults. We go to every fight every weekend. Favorite pride fight, Dan Henderson, bro. When Dan Henderson, I was in Chicago when that happened. Fedor and Dan Henderson. That was a nasty knockout. When we thought he was gonna lose that fight, he switched positions, hit him with like I don't even know what it was, some kind of like hip out, and then just uppercut from underneath. That was one of my favorite fights. When I fought Gaethje, oh yeah, man. Honestly, Gaethje's an entertaining ass fighter, bro. His low kicks and his power. That would be a fun fight, honestly, because I don't think he would try to double leg me. He would try to knock me out. And my fighting style versus that brute forward low kick bomb punch is like that'd be a fun fight.
What do you think about Islam Makhachev?
Islam's a man, bro. Honestly, like his striking, he's like Khabib with good striking.
Yeah.
I think we have to see him mature a little more and fight some top 10 guys, like actual lightweights that are top 10. But I mean, Volkanovski's a fucking monster. So to see what he did against him, I mean, but once we see Islam fight some more top 10 guys and cement his legacy, I think he'll be one of the GOATs.
You gonna head to UFC 296?
I don't know yet. My brother's in town with his wife. I got tickets, but my brother's in town with his wife. It's her birthday, so I might just end up doing dinner and hanging out with the fam, depending on how Friday night goes. If I land a Showtime kick and do something crazy, then maybe I'll just show up just to see the fans.
Yeah.
Is this your channel? No. This is Karate Combat channel.
This is the Anthony Pettis channel, dog.
So now it is.
Yeah.
Sugar Show's coming as well, actually.
John's coming?
Sean O'Malley's coming as well. And Duplessis.
Yeah, bro. All the fighters are coming.
Yeah.
They're all in town. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
We'll take one more, Pettis, if you can find one, and then we'll let you go, mate. You've been very...
I think this one's frozen, so I might get nothing on this. And this one I haven't seen nothing. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all.
For you real quick.
Yeah.
You told me about the Wheaties box, and I don't think anyone knows how you ended up on it.
Oh man, the Wheaties box was a competition in the UFC. It was like a cross games guy, a UFC fighter, a swimmer, and I want to say a cross country athlete. I forget the other athlete, but it was a competition. Whoever had the most votes, and the way you had to vote was through this app. You had to do a workout. So whoever had the most votes would get on the Wheaties box. And Dana White's not going to lose something like that. So Dana put the machine behind it, and that's kind of how I got it, honestly. And I was in Dana's office when it's supposed to be John Jones. I've said this open before. It was supposed to be John Jones, but he just got in trouble for something. I was in Dana's office renegotiating my contract while I was the champ, and he's like, he's pissed on the phone. He's like, man, I can never do nothing with this guy. And he looks at me. He's like, you want to be in a Wheaties box, kid? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to be in a Wheaties box. Put my name right there, right place, right time, man. That's what that one was.
Did that one at home?
I got so many of them, bro. I got tons of them. I got like a giant one.
History, man. Hell yeah.
For sure. 3-0, you already know, guys. Tune in this Friday. I'm going to go out there and have some fun. Make sure you guys watch, get your tickets if you're in Vegas. And, it's free on YouTube, so y'all better be watching.
Thank you for your time, Pettis.
Thanks.